sir. Man, I know it's been a long time since I shot a new video of this thing. So I got new tires yesterday. You can see Federal 595 RSR. I wanted to show this because this is crazy. So this, the rear suspension setup right now on this side is all the stock arms, and they have poly bushings. You can see them, well, that's pretty out of focus, but you can see how much dirt and crud there is in there. Especially back there, man, that looks nasty. And right now, the shock is not attached. Like, that's where the shock mounts to the upright, and it doesn't move. Like, look at this. I mean, I can't move it. Like, look at how much binding is going on here. You can like push down on it. Ugh. In comparison, this side I just put on, so this is a GK Tech traction arm, an SPL upper control arm, and a GK Tech toe arm, and you can see that it moves at least a little bit better. It still binds quite a lot, but it's better. So that's got three, there's heim joints on the inboard. You can see a heim joint back there, right here, back there. But these are still poly on the inside of these, so I'm going to change these to sphericals someday too, but that's just what we're talking about here, is so much binding with the poly bushings. It's crazy. It just doesn't move. Like, I'm trying to push it down right now. Ugh, can't move it. Crazy. Here's what I'm doing. I am in the process of completely rebuilding my wiring harness from the ground up. Well, kind of from the ground up. So I'm just gonna kind of run through what I've done. I took everything that was loomed, or almost everything that was loomed. I removed all of the loom, all of the tape, all of the gooey crud and messed up stuff. I removed all of the wires that were unneeded. I rerouted all of the wiring and have now replaced it all back into the car where I want it to go. And I've not yet loomed it, but I have started the car, and it runs, I think, fairly decent. Let me just show what's going on here. First thing is the MAF. The MAF sensor is under here, of course, so that's the wiring for that. It comes all the way around here, and this I'm gonna have to replace because I kind of removed all the shielding, which was dumb, and I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but now I know that I shouldn't have done that. So that runs all the way around the back end of the car over here. Up here, this is the cam angle sensor, so there's the wiring for that. This is the throttle position sensor, the wiring for that. This is the coolant temp sensor. I don't know, there's two sensors under here, and I don't know exactly what they do or how they work. And actually, I should fix the wiring down here, because this kind of looks messed up. Maybe that's why it doesn't work. I don't know, I haven't had a working coolant temp sensor anyway. So all of that wiring bundles up and goes over the top of the engine back here. I need to replace this piece of tube because it's a bit too short, because it's kind of crushing all of my wiring. And then you can see maybe back here there's one connector down there. That is the knock sensor, I believe. And then there's another one right down here, and that's the intake, or the idle air control valve, I think. And then right here, this wire, and there's maybe you can see a shiny bolt right under my finger right there. That is the ground, the main ground for the engine, and so there's a bunch of wires that connect up to the ground. This is obviously the ignition coils running along the top, so that all combines in here. And then this is all the fuel injectors coming together here. So this is basically the bundle of all of the wires running the engine, which it's, when you're doing this wiring, it seems daunting, it seems like a lot of stuff, but it really comes down to that. Really what I just went through, that's what makes the engine run. Of course, in the S14, the wiper motor and the wiper amplifier are also in the engine harness, so they combine together and go down there. And that's pretty much it for the engine bay. I have a lot of other wiring here, so like this is my fan control relay, temperature sort of sensing setup. And this is my hot lead, which is currently a sock. You can see here, that's the hot lead from the battery, which is not currently hooked up because I don't want to electrocute myself. Inside, you'll see here is the ECU, which is connected right now. All of these wires, literally every single wire that goes into the ECU, I reconnected. I cut and reconnected. For me, and I think this would be the case for anybody that does an S13 into an S14 chassis, every single wire was too long, probably close to 2 feet, I think, like quite a lot too long. So I cut every single wire shorter, connected that up. Same with every wire that goes to, this is the ECU relay under here. And back there, which you can sort of see, maybe it'll adjust to the light if I throw it in here. Not really. This little white bar here is the clip that holds the F3 plug, which is, anybody that's done this kind of swap knows that's the power connector for the engine harness on an S14. So this is wiring. Some of the wiring goes up into the engine bay, some of it goes just over to the ECU, and some of it goes into this relay. This is just the ECU power relay, so that's what turns on with your ignition. That's what fires up the ECU. And what I've moved inside here as well is my ignition setup. So this is the thing, which honestly I don't even know what it's called. I kind of wish I understood this better, but this is the aftermarket ignition system. So this is the connector that comes from, well, you can't even see, this connector right here is what comes from all 4 of the ignition coils. So that's now moved inside the car. This used to be in the engine bay, of course. And then this goes to this igniter chip, which is in the stock harness. And then that all connects into the ECU as well, right here. Pretty much brand new wiring harness, basically. It's a completely custom wiring harness for this car. It would be basically the same, I think, for any S13 engine in an S14 chassis. You'd do basically the same thing. And it looks very daunting, but pretty much all you need is this right here. And it's pretty easy to find on the internet. This is the F3 pinout. So the F3 plug is a native S14 pin, or a plug that you have to swap over if you're doing this swap. You would need to snake this from whatever, you know. I bought another harness because I sold my engine as a complete running engine, so I had to buy a second harness to cut up. But you need this, you need the wiper amp and motor plugs. This, oh no, yeah, you need this relay plug as well. You can't really see it, it's dark back there, but it's the blue plug right here. And you have to wire all that in, and then it pretty much takes, the rest of everything is pretty much from the S13 harness. So this is the S14 pinout. Of course, this one doesn't work if you don't have color. You can, it does say the color in the listing here, but you looking at this on a computer makes a lot more sense. Or if you have a color printout, makes more sense. And then this is just the pinout for this ECU. That's pretty much it. It took a long time to get to this point, and actually looming everything up I don't think is going to be too hard. It's pretty straightforward, really, but the problem is that you have to make sure that the engine's running first before you go and cover everything, because once it's all loomed, then you don't really want to be adding wires. There's the rundown. We'll see how it goes. Hey guys, so clearly things have changed. It's actually been a couple of years since I shot that footage, and I was trying to put together the episode, and I couldn't find any footage of actually finishing the wiring harness. Which I did, and it's decent. I've driven this car a whole lot, and the harness has done really well. So I want to give you a rundown of what it looks like now. And I have some other stuff going on in here that I don't really want to talk about yet because I'm still putting together some later episodes. and I plan on fully catching up on this car build, the videos, within hopefully the next week or two here. Because I have some other stuff going on. You can see I'm in a new garage shop space. I have some new stuff going on in this shop that's not even necessarily car related, and I'm really stoked to put it on video. So I hope you guys follow along with the finishing of these videos, the series building this car, and then I'm going to bring you to a whole new world of videos that I'm working on now. Let's look at this wiring harness. Okay, I hope the lighting is good enough. Without giving too much away, I'm not actually using this MAF anymore. But the wiring has been fixed and completed. And I even put a nice, you can see this right here is actually a heat shielded loom to try and keep that safe because it has to go right past the turbo down here. The whole engine bay here is kind of dirty, to be honest. But you can see this is the MAF wire here, and that goes into a nice little bit of loom. That all heads that way. On this side you can see the loomed up throttle position sensor wire. And obviously this is not loomed up. This is something I did after the actual wiring harness was done, so it's not loomed in properly. Here's the wire coming from the cam angle sensor. You can see it loomed along here, and it combines with the throttle position one into this nice little bit of loom. That heads to the back. And it's like I showed in the video, there's a bunch of ground wires and stuff that all come through here. Oh, you can see the coils, all of them are loomed up nice, and they all come together over here. And this is all the fuel injectors, they're all loomed up nice, and they all combine right here. And so all of that eventually combines into this collector right here. And then you can see the wiper stuff all loomed as well. And it all looks very nice and clean, and it works great. Since I did the actual looming, I haven't had to mess with any of the wires in there, and it's been reliable. So I'm pretty happy with that. Of course, there's some very new and interesting different stuff happening in the engine bay here that I haven't gotten a chance to put in videos yet, but it is coming, believe me. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. Comment, subscribe, all of the stuff that everybody says for every YouTuber. So, I mean, really, are you paying attention anymore? Probably not. Who cares? Okay, bye.